The Unbreakable Window. In July 1993, Gary Hoy, a 39-year-old lawyer from Toronto, was giving a tour of his office to a group of law students. He wanted to impress them and show off how strong the building's windows were. To prove it, he ran full speed into the glass wall. The window didn't break. Gary had done this stunt before, dozens of times in fact, but this time, when he hit the glass again, it didn't shatter. The entire frame gave way. The glass stayed intact as Gary fell 24 stories to his death. Witnesses were horrified. Engineers later said no building was ever designed to handle that kind of impact. He proved the glass was unbreakable, but not the window. The Flying Tailor. In February 1912, Franz Reichelt, a 33-year-old tailor living in Paris, believed he had invented something that would change aviation forever, a parachute suit. He was certain his design could save pilots forced to jump from the sky. He'd tested it before, dropping dummies from his apartment window. It worked, at least at first, but every test that followed failed. Still, Franz refused to give up. He was convinced the problem wasn't the parachute, it was the height. So he set his sights on the Eiffel Tower. He begged officials for permission to test from it, and, after months of persistence, finally got approval, but only to drop a dummy. On the morning of February 4th, 1912, he showed up wearing the parachute himself. Friends tried to stop him, reporters warned him, police said it wasn't allowed, but Franz insisted, "I want to prove the worth of my invention myself." He climbed to the first platform, 187 feet high. After checking the wind, he stepped onto the railing, hesitated for a moment, then jumped. The parachute never opened. He hit the frozen ground in front of the cameras and crowd below. The newspapers called him the Flying Tailor. His invention never took off, but his story became one of history's most infamous tests of faith. The accidental death of a Copperhead. Clement Laird Vallandigham was one of the most outspoken critics of the Civil War. He spoke against the president, condemned abolition, and argued that the Union had no right to fight the Confederacy. In 1863, his words got him arrested. 8 years later, back in Ohio, Vallandigham met a tragic, ironic end. During a courtroom demonstration with a pistol, he accidentally shot himself in the abdomen. He died instantly. A man who survived political battles, imprisonment, and public outrage was finally undone by a single, fatal mistake. A reminder that sometimes history's most dramatic figures meet the quietest, most unexpected ends. The king who ate himself to death. King Adolf Frederick of Sweden reigned during the Age of Liberty, a time of peace and freedom for his people. He saw the world's first laws supporting freedom of the press, and yet his reign would end in the most unusual way. On Shrove Tuesday, February 12, 1771, the king prepared for Lent by gorging on a massive feast. Lobster, caviar, kippers, sauerkraut, boiled meats, and turnips. Then he washed it down with champagne. But he wasn't finished. For dessert, he ate 14 semlas, sweet buns served in hot milk with cinnamon and raisins. The king's stomach could not handle the indulgence. That same day, Adolf Frederick died from digestive complications caused by his enormous meal. His preparation for Lent had ironically killed him before the fasting could begin. His death also ended the Age of Liberty. His son, Gustav III, ascended the throne, replacing freedom with dictatorship and starting a costly war with Russia. The king who indulged in food died quietly from excess, while his son would die violently from a bullet. The Crow. In 1994, Brandon Lee, son of martial arts legend Bruce Lee, starred in The Crow, a dark, supernatural tale of love, loss, and vengeance. Lee played Eric Draven, a rock musician murdered alongside his fiancée, Shelley Webster, only to be resurrected by a mysterious crow to avenge their deaths. Tragically, during filming, Lee was accidentally shot by a malfunctioning prop gun while performing a scene. Despite his death, the film was completed with rewrites, stunt doubles, and digital effects, and dedicated to Lee and Shelley Hutton. When released, The Crow earned $94 million on a $23 million budget and became a cult classic. Its story of a man brought back from death to fight injustice, while its star never saw the premiere, cemented its place in film history. The first robot death. In 1979, Robert Williams was working at a Ford plant in Michigan. When a robotic storage system wasn't working properly, he climbed into the area without shutting it down. A 1-ton robotic arm struck him, killing him instantly. His family later won a record $15 million settlement, highlighting how dangerous unprotected machines can be. If you like stories like this is the very first video on this channel, and it's just the beginning of an incredible journey. I'd love for you to be part of it. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, so stay tuned and let us know in the comments what you'd love to see us cover next.